Is it keto or is it carbs? I'm totally confused. Flipping 50 programs support the right kind of carbs, resistant carbs, and cycling them during the day and during your week. So, why would you share a keto program? It's so different and seems opposite. I'm confused. This episode answers Stephanie's question posted after a podcast episode I did with Dr. Anna Cabeca. And in it, I did Dr. Anna's program, Keto Green 16. This is Deborah Atkinson, and you're listening to Flipping 50, where I address your top questions and struggles, and I share what to eat, how to move, and how to change your mindset so you can get the energy and the vitality that you want, need, and deserve in this second and better half, even in COVID-19. So in this episode, I'm answering a reader question, and it is this. So I recently did, me personally, I recently did Keto Green 16. My friend Dr. Anna Cabeca's program outlined in her book by the same title. She made keto female friendly. Her tricks for optimizing alkalinity on what is typically a highly acidic diet create the right environment for your body, for a woman's body to thrive. So a reader question from Stephanie asked why I'd share that when it seems so contradictory to my programs at Flipping 50. And Stephanie, I completely understand why you might think that, and you too, if you're listening. And it's important to me to clear up the confusion. So before I dive into this episode, a reminder that this episode and many others are brought to you by the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist. It's the first and the only hormone balancing fitness prescription for trainers and health coaches working with women navigating midlife and menopause. And we've had so many new students during COVID-19, students who aren't training potentially as much as they want to, but who also are excited about learning how to leverage and get the marketing and business building skills that they want to once they've completed the specialist certificate. I'm going to link to it in the show notes, whether you are a trainer or a health coach, or you'd love to become one, or it's a great complement to something that you're already doing. Now's the time. They're looking and they're ready to find answers. All right, let's dive in. So I'm going to answer Stephanie's question, and here's the answer really. So there's no real conflict, but it's the way I think about step by step, how do we get to solving the puzzle that you might be having right now? So let's say you've got belly fat you've never had before, you have weight and it's resistant to all of your strategies and techniques that used to work. You're maybe fatigued, you have no energy. So those are signs, symptoms that whatever you're doing right now is not working. So here's where I start. First, it's always with you. So it's what's happening for you right now. How's your energy, your gut, your digestion, your elimination, your sleep? How well are you dealing with stress? Because all of those things leave clues about how your hormones are right now. How have you been eating regularly in the last 3 to 4 weeks? What's typical? What we do then is find an if this, then that step-by-step process for you. So you are somewhere along the continuum of loving or hating the status of your sleep, your stress, your weight, your digestion. And once we rank them and we know what's been causing it and what you've tried before and how that's worked, I can help you figure out a step-by-step answer. Look, I'm not a nutritionist or a registered dietitian, and I don't play one on TV or on the internet, but I do have 36 years working with clients on their exercise nutrition. Inevitably, their relationship with food, cravings, energy crashes, all of this combined either hurt or help the results that they get, even with the very best exercise prescription. Most women coming to me at Flipping 50 can't sleep and they have high stress levels. Look, you don't need a lab test to tell you that you're not losing weight. In fact, that you're gaining it, or you're putting it on around your belly, or you're unable to sleep and you have cravings even shortly after meals. Those are all signs that your cortisol levels are not dialed in to help you with energy and optimal weight, that even the best fitness program might leave you exhausted. I start with clients with reducing cortisol by getting the right carbs at the right time. And if you've all but cut them out of your diet, your body is potentially craving them. We produce a hormone called serotonin. It's one of those hormones we hear less about than the bad guys. We produce serotonin with the help of carbohydrates. Chocolate can do some good too. We get stabilization of blood sugar with the right carbohydrates, and that can help you relax, have energy again, and get a better night's sleep, therefore be more likely to want to exercise in the morning and kick cravings and crashes to the curb. Doing that along with using a blueprint to find the foods that work for you right now is foundational work at Flipping 50. Your hormones change your gut health, so does stress. So rather than a lab test or in combination with one, I suggest you remove foods and then reintroduce them. Inside our Flipping 50 virtual gymbership, it's exercise for women in menopause and so much more. We have programs and challenges that you can do to feel so much better fast, and you can stop tolerating bloating, gas, constipation, and diarrhea. And I'm going to pause right here to make sure that you realize while I'm recording this live, we are open for enrollment at the Flipping 50 virtual gymbership. Sure, it's exercise, but it is so much more. It's like a university, all about hormone health based on exercise and the lifestyle habits that supports exercise and your fitness. And if you are finding solutions that are intended for men or for young women in their 20s or 30s and realize your hormones, metabolism, body composition, and even the way you are socialized about exercise is very different, then you're going to want to check out the Flipping 50 gymbership while it's open. There are two options. There's a monthly option, and then there's a way to save dramatically on an annual option and really commit to yourself to feeling better than you've ever felt before. I'll link to it in the show notes. So, for many women, finding the right carbohydrates and identifying foods that agree with them and don't agree with them right now is enough. For me, it was for 7 years, from 2013 to 2019. And then it wasn't. For me, 2019 was a year. And I know we're all thinking some things about 2020, but 2019 was a tough one for me. Perfect storm, more stress, more cortisol. And I gained weight even during training for an Ironman, which, as you come into my world, you might come to think of as because I was training for an Ironman, but that's a story for another day. So Keto Green 16 came at just the right time for me to make a pivot for my body. During COVID-19, with Keto Green and the help of bioidentical hormones, I lost 5 pounds overall. I gained 2 pounds of lean muscle mass, and I improved my body composition by 5%. That's the power of changing the strategy when what you're doing isn't working. Because let me point out that what I was doing 7 months ago when I was still training for that Ironman, I haven't hardly gone for a bike ride, let alone a 3, 4, 5, or 6 hour long bike ride that was common during those last months training for the Ironman. I haven't done a 12 or 18 mile run. In fact, since COVID-19 and earlier this year trying to tune in to my hormones, I've walked. I may have run. a handful of times for 30 minutes. I've done 20-minute interval training twice a week, and I've done strength training twice a week. All things timed right, but that's it. No hours long of exercise, a fraction of what I was doing. And the results that I had were oh so much better. So now, as I or you might, after a short time on a new program, move back into your best eating plan, we continue to feel great. We maintain that optimal body composition and energy. I know you get panicked about changing things when something's working. So, for a lot of women who go through our programs, when we have them remove certain foods that are likely to become food sensitivities, well, sometimes they don't want to reintroduce those things to find out, are those specifically the problem? Because it feels too good to feel good. But it is important to keep feeding your body and keep listening to what it's telling you. For a short time, change may work best for you. You can also find yourself getting tired, though, or more hungry or bored as you stay on something long. And you need to make a change for optimal health long term. So for me, I knew where I was coming from. I've identified the foods that I do best with and the timing of them during my day. But for a short period of time, I needed to rock the boat a little bit harder. And changing to do Keto Green gave me the opportunity to become a fat burner again and get results. But now I'm shifting back into what has become my habit for years. There you have it. How to use keto or another type of option for short term, or when to support your exercise results. If you've got a question for me, leave it in the new Flipping 50 Insiders Facebook group, designed for our podcast listeners and our blog readers and our YouTube channel subscribers. It's where we keep the conversation going and I answer your questions every week. It's opening soon. It may actually be open now by the time you listen to this episode. And we're shooting for the 4th of July weekend, so stay tuned. Literally, the end. So I will see you on the flip side in the Insiders community by the end of this holiday weekend. I will leave the links in the show note to the resources I've mentioned, the Flipping 50 Fitness Specialist, Dr. Anna's Keto Green 16, and to the Flipping 50 virtual membership. And I hope to see you inside soon. What are you waiting for? Let's start Flipping 50 today.